Stop me if you have felt this before. You wake up, your phone is already buzzing with demands. Your to do list is longer than your arm, and it's only 7 am. You spend the entire day running on a treadmill of caffeine and anxiety, putting out fires, reacting, and at the end of the day, you collapse onto the couch, exhausted, with a nagging feeling that you accomplished absolutely nothing of real value. We live in a culture obsessed with hustle. We glorify the grid. We think productivity means doing more things faster. But what if we have it backwards? What if true productivity isn't about speed, but about stillness? What if it's not about adding more, but peeling away the inessential until only what truly matters remains? Today, we are stepping away from the culture of busyness. We are traveling east. We are going to explore a philosophy of work that has created some of the most efficient, high quality, and curiously peaceful organizations on earth. We are diving into the Japanese art of productivity. Welcome to my second podcast. I'm your host Chandra Mohan, and today we are retraining our brain to work better, not just harder. Before we talk about how to get things done, the tactics, the hacks, the apps, we have to ask the uncomfortable question first. Why are we doing it? If you are efficiently climbing a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall, you aren't being productive. You are just lost at a high speed. This brings us to our first Japanese concept. It is the bedrock of everything else. It's called ikigai. Ikigai, which roughly translated means a reason for being, is the reason you get out of bed in the morning. We tend to separate usually our lives with we have a job here, we are pay our bills, we have a passion, and in all of this, we try to squeeze into the weekends. Ikigai rejects all this separation. Imagine four intersecting circles. Circle number one, what you love. Circle number two, what the world needs. Circle 3, what you can be paid for. Circle 4, what you are good at. The sweet spot in the dead center where all these circles overlap, that is your ikigai. That is your purpose. That is your passion. When you are working within your ikigai, you enter a state of flow. Work doesn't feel like a burden, it feels like an inevitability. You aren't forcing productivity. The productivity is a byproduct of your alignment. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds lovely, but I have a spreadsheet to fill out and a mortgage to pay. Finding Ikigai isn't an overnight revelation, it's an excavation. Productivity hack number one isn't a new calendar app. It's asking yourself, does the task I'm about to spend 2 hours going to serve my Ikigai? Or is it just a noise? If you don't know your purpose, you will always be slave to someone else. Okay, so we have a sense of direction. You know or you have your Ikigai. How do you move towards it without getting overwhelmed by the sheer size of your goals? We have a tendency to love dramatic overhaul. New Year resolution is the time when you promise to go to gym 5 days a week, or You promise that you will write a novel, or you promise that you will learn a new language by the end of January or by February. What happens after February? You're crushed, burned, overwhelmed with the goal that you had selected. The Japanese antidote to this is perhaps the most famous technique on our list today: Kaizen. Kaizen. Kai means change, Zen means good. Good change. Also translated to continuous improvement. This philosophy was central to Toyota's rise after World War II. Instead of massive, disruptive innovations, they focused on everyone in the company, from the janitor to the CEO, making tiny incremental improvements every single day. Here is the magic of Kaizen: it bypasses your brain's fear response. When you tell your brain, we need to write an entire book, your amygdala, the fear center, lights up. It says, whoa, that's dangerous. That's too big. We might fail. Let's scroll Instagram instead. That, my friends, is procrastination. But if you use Kaizen, you tell your brain, hey, we are just going to write one paragraph today. That's it. The brain says, oh, one paragraph. I can do that. That's safe. If you improve something by just 1% every single day, by the end of the year, you aren't 365% better because of compound interest. You are actually 37 times better. Kaizen asks you to stop looking for the silver bullet. Stop waiting for the massive block of free time to start your project. It does not exist. Can you make one sales call today? Can you organize one drawer? Can you write one line of code? Or can you write one paragraph for the novel that you always wanted to write? Small gets big, fast. Segment 3: The System, Kanban. We have our purpose, Ikigai. We have our engine of movement, Kaizen. But what about the daily chaos? What about when you have 15 tabs open in your browser, 3 Slack channels pinging you, an email inbox that looks like a crime scene with so many emails pending to be read? Your brain is terrible office manager. It's not designed to hold pending tasks. When you try to keep everything in your head, you create cognitive drag. You're burning energy just trying to remember what you are supposed to be doing. We need to get out of your head into the world. We need Kanban. Kanban literally means billboard. They needed a way to align inventory with production, so they weren't drowning in spare parts. A personal Kanban board is deceptively simple. You can simply note on a wall, or apps like Trello or Notion, or you simply draw something on a piece of paper. You only need 3 columns. The first column on the extreme left is the to-do list. This is your backlog, everything you eventually need to handle. The last column on your extreme right is the done column. This is crucial. You need to see your wills piled up. It releases dopamine. But the magic is in the middle column, doing. Here is the golden rule of Kanban. You must limit your work in progress in the doing column, which means you need to move the items from the first column on the extreme left to the middle column. Most of us have 20 things in the doing column right now. We are multitasking, which science tells us is really just a rapid task switching that degrades our IQ and kills our focus. A strict Kanban system says you are allowed a maximum of 3 items in the doing column. Period. You cannot pull a sticky note from to do into doing until you have moved one from doing to done. It forces you to finish. It forces single tasking. When you look at Kanban board, the overwhelm vanishes. You don't have to worry about the 50 things in the backlog. You only have to worry about 2 or 3 things in the middle column right now. It turns cognitive chaos into visual order. Segment 4, the mindset shift. Ikigai for purpose, Kaizen for progress, Kanban for clarity. These aren't just tools, they are doorway to different way of existing in your work. There's one final concept I want to mention briefly which helps tie all these together. It's called as Shoshin, which means beginner's mind. The expert knows everything and is close to new possibilities. The beginner knows nothing and is open to everything. Approaching your day with Shoshin means letting go of assumption that you already know the best way to do your job. It means looking at your workflow with fresh eyes and asking, is this actually working? Or am I just doing it because I've always done it this way? Let me repeat that. When you start your day, do not start with the assumption that you know everything. Look at your workflow with fresh eyes, with a new perspective, and ask, is this actually working? Or am I doing it because I've always done it this way? Kaizen requires Shoshin. You can't improve if you think you're already perfect. Now, we have often sold a version of productivity that looks like a frantic race. These Japanese principles teach us that productivity is actually a garden. You have to know what you are trying to grow. That's Ikigai. You have to tend it daily, pulling one weed at a time. That's Kaizen. And you need a system to know where the water needs to go. That's Kanban. Stop trying to overhaul your entire life by next Monday morning. It will never work. It's exhausting. Here is my challenge for you today. Don't try to do all this at once. Pick one. Maybe today, just draw those 3 columns on a whiteboard, on a piece of paper, something which is visible to you. To do, doing, done. 3 columns. To do, doing, done. And you put one sticky note in the middle. Maybe today you embrace Kaizen. You commit to just 5 minutes for that project or the activity you have been waiting to do. Just 5 minutes. Shift from hustle to alignment. Shift from busy to effective. Slow down to speed up. I'm Chandra Mohan and this is my second podcast. Now go make a small and good change. Thank you.